Now this evening, Dr. Kobi Michael, the former Deputy Director General and former head of the Palestinian desk at the Israeli Ministry for Strategic Affairs, now a research fellow at the INSS. Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you think that that is an effective, is that a smart decision to take at this point? Or just adding more fuel to the fire?
I'm not sure about it. First of all, I'm not sure that tomorrow it will remain the same decision. I think that in a sense maybe it's a sort of reflection of embarrassment mainly towards the Israeli public. But I think that this is not the issue. I think that we have to talk about the broader context of the event of yesterday. And in this regard, we have to understand, first of all, the Palestinian psyche. We have to remember that the Palestinian society, and according to the last survey that was published just 2 days ago by Khalil Shkaki, supports in its majority the armed intifada, which is the Palestinian phrase for terrorism. Although there is a decrease in the support of stabbing because they understood that actually it's something that brings nothing, they do support the increase of armed struggle or armed resistance. Secondly, I think that it is not a surprise that the terrorists came from Hebron area, from Yatta, because this is once again an expression of the lack of control. This is a sort lack of control of the PA. Eventually, areas like Hebron and refugee camps in Nablus and some other places are something like no man's land. I mean, there are frontier zones for the Palestinian Authority. There is a lack of presence of Palestinian security apparatuses there. And there is a presence of Hamas that actually exploits the absence of the Palestinian Authority. Traditionally, the area of Hebron was, I would say, more independent than other districts in the West Bank, even before the Palestinian Authority. Secondly, I would say the societal structure of the district there, the tribes, and the big clans there, the big hamulas, have huge interests that doesn't fit necessarily the interests of the PA, or in other words, I will put it that the PA actually is in a sense of a competition with these clans, and they have the capacity to run their business by their own, and they think first of all about their businesses, and they are historically and traditionally are more affiliated to Jordan. They have families in Jordan. They are affiliated to the institutional level in Jordan, and to the palace there, and they do not believe in the Palestinian Authority, as well as the majority of the Palestinian society, by the way.
On that note, if we're looking at the strength of Mahmoud Abbas and the Palestinian Authority today versus, say, 5 years ago, how would you gauge that?
I think that we cannot talk in terms of strength. I mean, we have to talk in terms of weakness.
Right.
And talking about the Israeli reaction, we are concentrating on the Israeli reaction. I think that one of the biggest puzzles is what would be the Palestinian Authority reaction, because this is a challenge for the Palestinian Authority reaction as well. Hamas challenges not only Israel. Hamas challenges, first of all, the Palestinian Authority. And Hamas uses these frontier zones like Hebron in order to challenge the Palestinian Authority.
So when you see the Palestinian Authority coming out and condemning this attack, what do you think of that?
It's not a question of condemning the attack. It's a question of building the capacities to be there, to be present there, and to enforce law and order, and to assure the monopoly over violence. I mean, the idea that there are militias, there are armed militias all over the West Bank, in the refugee camps, and mainly in Hebron, and the Palestinian Authority cannot enter there and cannot enforce law and order, it means that we have a chaotic situation there, and therefore this is a threat, first of all, not over Israel, okay? This is a very limited threat over Israel. This is a very serious threat over the Palestinian Authority itself, and therefore this is a challenge for the Palestinian Authority.
But are you as confident as he is in the Israeli government?
Generally speaking, yes, but I think that this is not the issue. Look, we have to understand that such an event actually almost occurs every day and in huge numbers. In most cases, the General Security Services, the IDF and the police are succeeding in preventing such events, and we don't hear about it. And
we
there
hear
is
about
no
the times that fail.
We hear and we feel the one that has succeeded, okay? And we have to take into consideration that there will be more successes in the future because there are many trials.
Is there a sense that there are more attempts these days or less?
Because there are attempts each hour.
There was this, whatever, if you want to call it, a wave of terror, intifada, stabbing intifada since September, that there has been discussion of that calming down. Do you think that that is the case, or it's just a misunderstanding on the Israeli side?
No, it's not a question of misunderstanding. I think that there is calm down in the wave that we faced for 5 to 6 months with regard to the stabbing, okay? But the idea of initiating terror attacks is something which is there since the first beginning of the Oslo process, talking about the Palestinian Authority presence. It's from the first beginning of the Oslo process and mainly during the last 3 or 4 years.